It's time once again to interview a coach on the Sports Couch Show, brought to you by People's National Bank, serving you with locations throughout Southern Illinois, member FDIC and equal housing lender, and by Mount Vernon Title Company. When you need title work or real estate closings or contract for deed work, Mount Vernon Title Company. During week 3 of the high school football season, rain played havoc on a lot of the games in Southern Illinois. In fact, the game between the Fairfield Mules and Sesser-Valier Devils was one of them. They were delayed for quite a while. There was even talks of maybe resuming the game the next day, but they all stayed put, and they waited the rain out, and they played it. And all the points were scored in the first half. In fact, Sesser jumped out to an 8-0 lead. The Mules scored in the second quarter to make it 8-6 at halftime. That's where it stayed. That was the final. Sesser wins it 8-6. But if you look at the stat line, Fairfield won a lot of the stats and has to feel good about it, even though they lost the game. And with us to talk about it is head coach Justin Townsend of the Mules. And, that's a tough loss. Everybody had to deal with the weather, both sides. But, when you look at that stat sheet, you had more first downs, you had more rushing yards, more total yards. You played a very good football game.
Yeah, I don't know that I feel good that we lost.
No.
I thought our defense played lights out, tremendous. Sesser does so many things formation-wise, and they're well coached, and they make you defend the all spots on the field, sideline to sideline, and obviously a lot of those kids, a lot of success last year. So they're accustomed to winning, and I thought the elements in the second half obviously was a factor for both teams. That said, we had an opportunity to win. We really did. We were inside. We were on the 4-yard line. We just couldn't punch it in, and that's the way it goes. But I thought our defense played tremendous. Sesser's a really good football team. They're going to be a playoff team when this all plays out. I feel pretty confident in saying that. But it would have been nice to get that one on the road, to be sitting here 3-0 talking to you. I feel a lot better about things rather than 2-1. As far as the rain and stuff, we kind of got to a point where we were on delay. I talked with our AD, Chip Basso, and, we've been doing this for a long time. And, long story short, he only had 2 or 3 officials for the next day. We were going to have to play Saturday night just to make sure we had officials, because a lot of teams had already rescheduled. And we kind of got to the point, like it was, I think, about 20 till 9. We said, okay, if we don't see anything or hear anything up until 9 o'clock, let's make a go at this. And we didn't hear anything. We didn't see anything as far as, thunder, lightning. So we went for it. And, I think we made the right decision. Obviously conditions were not the best, but both teams have to play in it, so it's a level playing field, and we had started to figure some things out offensively, and our defense was playing really well. So I still felt like, we'd have an opportunity to win, and we did. We just didn't get it done, and that's a credit to Sesser.
Yeah, but you know what? Holding Sesser to 8 points, I would venture to say Sesser will probably score more than 8 points against just about everybody else in the league this year, and then holding them offensively to 166 yards. That is a real credit to your defense. Yeah,
and like I said, they played well. Really, we've had one bad quarter. Now, granted, we've only played 2 games, but El Dorado kind of got to us maybe a little bit in the fourth quarter, but other than that, man, we've been really, really solid, and I'm proud of them. We're going to have that effort from here on out, especially these next 2 games, because we're playing a couple of offensive juggernauts coming up in Johnston City and Carmi. So we're going to have to really hang our hat on our defense.
Well, let's look ahead to next week. Week 4 coming up here. Johnston City, you're going to play them. Yeah, they're 3-0, and not only are they 3-0, they haven't had anybody score on them yet. They've thrown 3 shutouts.
Yeah, I haven't told our kids that. They probably figured that out on their own.
Whoops, I shouldn't have said anything. Whoops.
No, you know how kids are. They know that.
Right.
Now, they did. They got, they only got to play about a quarter and a half because of the rain and storming last week against El Dorado. El Dorado just called the game. And, they're really impressive. But what I think separates them from what I've seen thus far is how they come off the ball offensively and defensively up front on the line. It's just, they want to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. And, of course, they have the good backs and things like that. But, man, up front, they just really come off the ball with a purpose. And once again, you got these kind of what I said with Sesser. You got guys that are out there playing with playoff experience, and kind of remind me of where we were at, 4 or 5 years ago when we had that run going. That's where they're at right now, and until somebody can knock them off consistently year in and year out, I know Sesser got them last year. They're kind of the team to beat in the conference, and it's going to take a great effort from us. I feel like we got a shot. We've prepared all week to win this game. Our kids believe in what we're doing. Last year, we played really well against them. Defensively, we played really well against them. We slowed them down. We were able to do some things offensively in the run game and the pass game. And it's things that we do. It's not we aren't asking our kids to go out and do anything that we can't do or haven't been doing. So it's, just getting back to, keeping the ball out of their hands and taking care of the football. That's a big factor. Mentioned going back to the Sesser game a little bit, we did have 2 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have any.
Right.
So even though everything else was similar, or maybe we did a little bit better, 2 turnovers in a game where the field is not the best conditions is a huge factor. So we got to take care of the football this week, and we got to be able to keep it out of their hands. And if we're inside the red zone, we got to come away with a touchdown. If you do all the work to get down there, obviously we don't have a field goal kicker, so I would say come away with points. Well, we got to come away with a touchdown.
Yeah.
We got to put points on the board when you get inside that red zone, because that's not going to happen too many times against Johnston City. One, they're really good defensively, but 2, they're going to run the ball and control the clock anyway. So you got to take advantage, and then maybe you make a play in special teams. That happened, I think, 3 years ago when they had a really solid team. We right off the bat we returned the kick. So we, something like that is something that you have to do against these guys too, to kind of get a quick score that way. Because momentum plays a huge role anytime you play a really good opponent like Johnston City.
Mm-hmm, right. You mentioned momentum. Another thing you can mention is confidence. And I look at this game you just had with Sesser. Let's remind everybody, that's a team that was 11-1 last year. They made a deep run in the playoffs. So here you go toe-to-toe with them at their place. You fall short 8-6, but that's still got to give your guys confidence in that they can play with the better teams in the league.
Yeah, I said it. I feel Sesser is one of the top 1A teams in the South, and I still feel that way. And they're still even playing without their quarterback. I don't think most people realize that. They're going to be better at the end of the year than what they are now. They're actually a little banged up. They got two guys playing guards that are as good as anybody. They got some linebackers. They got some defensive ends. They got some offensive weapons. And they got one Hall of Fame coach and one future Hall of Famer coach. So, they got a good thing going there. And, so that's why I guess it hurts even more that, we had that chance. We had that chance to knock them off on their home field. We didn't get it done. But, yeah, there's definitely a lot of things we can build on from Friday, especially from a defensive standpoint. And we've tried to do that. We've tried to build on those things this week. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the same type of game plan, because, Johnston City and Sesser are 2 different types of offenses, but there's definitely some things we can use confidence-wise.
Right. Going into this game against the Indians, health-wise, how are the Mules?
We're fairly healthy. We have played 2. You can say what you want. El Dorado is always physical. Sesser's physical. It was Friday night with Sesser was I've seen people describe it as a dogfight. It was a battle. It was. You're about this time of year, you start to get those bumps and bruises, and you really got to watch a little bit what you do in practice. So we're at that point, But as far as health-wise, I think we're pretty healthy. It's just the normal bumps and bruises right now. So, I think our guys are resilient, and they'll be ready to go on Friday night. All
right, the game is at the Train Yard Friday. We encourage Fairfield fans to get out, and best of luck to you, Coach. We appreciate the visit today, all right?
Okay, thanks, Randy. Have a good one.
You bet. Bye-bye.